1st, 2015 work session of the NATRONA County Commission to order. First item on the agenda. It has been brought to our attention that we've got an Affordable Care Act situation that has presented itself to our county, and it's something that we're going to have to do something about. So I've got the people who are going to help us do something about it here with us today, and help walk us through what we're looking at and what our potential answers are going to be. So, Madam Clerk, would you start out for us?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, we do have an issue with the Affordable Care Act. Everyone does. And so we're not the only ones in this boat. But I'd like to start out by saying that you know me well enough to know that I'm not a believer in growing government. I'm not going to come and ask for money unless it's something this county really has to do. And in this case, with our benefits, what we're asking for is a benefits technician position, that this person only takes care of the insurance. They communicate with the retirees, with the boards mostly, but they will be involved with our insurance committee, all that, so they know what's always going on. This person will keep us in compliance. The reason for that is where there's no tolerance with the federal government if we make a mistake. And that means any of us make a mistake. And we're looking at 7 boards and ourselves. One mistake costs $1 million. It comes out to I figured it to be $998,900, but Eileen came up with a different figure. She got really technical with it, but it's still $950-some thousand. So it's pretty much $1 million every time there's a mistake made. And that's why we need somebody who can devote nothing but their time to nothing but these benefits and keeping people on track, that we always know when they have enough hours that they should have been offered insurance. These are the people who are not exempt. They are seasonal and part-time people. But whether a person is terminated on time, all that kind of stuff, it's going to take a person that is specialized just in this. So when we first heard about this, well, let me back up. Not when we first heard about it. We first realized that we were being demanded, whatever you want to say, all these reports just to get us with our new software plan. You know, the reports alone have kept Tracy and Cindy, Eileen, busy for, it takes a good part of their day, every day for the last month. We've been working on that. And even once we get the payroll program, or the plan source program adapted to our payroll, it's still going to take someone to monitor that all the time and to make sure that the reports that come in from the boards are correct, compliant with what we have with Blue Cross at all times, or that's where our fines come in. So that's what we're looking at. But when this all came to my attention, I decided to ask around to the other county clerks if they have this problem. Every county who offers benefits, and that's everybody except Niobrara, they don't have enough people that they even have to.
And enough cash.
And enough cash. Well, it wouldn't matter if they had the cash. It's the amount of people. They would have to find that money somewhere. That's what the Affordable Care Act is, you know. So now they have to look at keeping their employees or their staff to minimum or under that amount, so because they don't have the money, they don't have the funds to operate. So anyway, I was asking whether or not these counties are faced with this problem. They're all looking at hiring somebody. They have to. They can't afford the claims either. Their fines are not as much. Most of the counties, Laramie County is, of course. They're $1 million every time they make a mistake. And they have a lot bigger HR staff than we're asking for, so. Anyway, that's what we're looking at. With the help of Ed, we've come up with a job description for this person, which, did you give him a copy? Okay, you do have that. And number 6 on that job description is going to be their main focus. I have reached out already to Cobacon to ask for their help in what questions do I really need to ask in this interview, because we don't know. We really don't know what this person needs to do. This is what we're thinking they need to do. We know these are the main focuses, but how do I know what questions to ask this person to know that they have the experience? Or if they're just fooling me, trying to get you. So, and you.
And there are not a lot of people that have this type of experience.
There isn't, however, there's more since the Affordable Care Act started. Then they've been trying, bigger companies have been sending their people out to become certified, and so there's a lot more people involved. And I'm hoping that the county can, this is awful to say, but I'm hoping we get to benefit on some of these other companies that have cut down their staff, you know, because of our energy situation.
Potentially fill.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that's out there. If not, then what we're going to have to look at, and I've also asked Cobacon this question too, tell us what certifications they need, where they can get this training, all of that, so that at least we know where to send this person immediately, so to start that. Ed did check with the city to see what they did, and even though they have quite an HR department themselves, they have a specialized person, which is kind of where we got this benefit, or this job description. And that's what that person does, is just concentrates on the benefits. And so we kind of went with their salary range as well, that depending on their experience, we're looking at 45 to 55. 45 is the cheapest anywhere for someone to do this type of job. The counties, the county clerks who have answered my email, their salary range is anywhere from 50 to 90. So, but we're not going that high. 55 is probably going to be, unless we get somebody who is top notch and can walk in here, doesn't need any direction really from us, then we'll listen to what they think they're worth. I think, I mean, I'm just telling you where I think we're kind of at their mercy, I feel, right now. So, because we know we can't afford $1 million fine, not even once. So, we got a bridge to build. So, among other things, so anyway, that's what I'm whining about these days. So.
Okay.
One of the things, you don't want to hear the rest, but.
So it's your conclusion that we need to hire, most likely, a full-time person who would be in our HR department and work with not
yes.
only the clerk, but payroll.
Correct.
Payroll within the clerks.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you for that. I figured I've talked about it so much, you guys already know what I've been talking about. This person will be your department, as is HR. It'll be an HR position, but we're going to say they're pretty much going to be controlled by us for a while. We have to work with them. We have to be so tight with them because we're the only ones who really know about the benefits programs. We have to know for payroll immediately. I mean, they have to work so closely together. So, but there's no room for them in accounts payable and payroll. So we already have a spot picked out for them. That'll be available by the end of this month.
And we know that we need a full-time person.
We will for at least, Tracy and I disagree on this. I say we need a full-time person probably for the next couple years, that this person needs to be full-time. She thinks that they're going to get it quicker, and I hope she's right. So, but I don't know that we really want to present it to anyone as a full-time job becoming part-time. Unless that's what they want, you know, that it could, the hours could go down for them if that's, you know, how they
Well,
perceive it.
and go ahead, I
Okay.
think I know what you're gonna say.
Okay, well, and this was the question the commissioners asked me, is how long am I gonna be around? And I would say if this person in a year or a year and a half, 2 years, gets everything straightened out, it could move into my job, which is just part-time anyway, then I'd have to take the boot and go.
So as
So-
the demands on them drops,
Right, I would think.
they
Yeah,
can just
because-
take over the entire HR department. So
And I
they'd be
think once you
living
get
with
the
somebody
book
with
work
those
done, the
kinds
computer
of
program going,
qualifications.
everything, and we know what the workload is. If it comes up sooner, you can ease me out sooner. So. this is-
That would be ideal, actually, ideal situation, because, well, we know you don't want to work forever. I don't, so I would think you don't. But, so as you're moving out, then somebody else is already, you know, knows what
They
your
would know the
job
system,
you're
yeah,
doing, and then
stuff
what
like that.
we, yeah.
Commissioner Hendrick?
Well, and I appreciate that, Ed, and so then this person, we could do a little cross-training along the way too.
I would say
if they
that,
have time.
looking at this, it's gonna be some type of HR person anyway, they're gonna know a lot of this stuff already. So once they take care of the ACA and the other stuff's not, you know, it's not that big a deal, the FMLA, stuff like that. It's not a lot of brains, mostly record keeping at this point, so. and
Well,
we've
that's
got
good.
a system set up, as long as everybody will tell us what's going on, and when people go on leave or when they come back, which is always a problem.
Well, and then you get the right person, then you get a better transition too.
And what we would like is this person that is able to take on that burden, to take the burden off of what what you do in workers' comp or FMLA, what risk management and the attorneys do, what we do, and make it all one position, which it should be in the HR. So,
And a part of the reason that we're needing to put this within HR is that the information that they will be collecting that is mandated by the ACA is very sensitive in nature. It's everybody's medical records. Could you go into that just a little bit for us?
well, yeah,
What it is,
This-
because this has kind of got a specific starting point, if you will.
right, and yes, Mr. Chairman, they have to understand HIPAA laws. All we know is that it's HIPAA, can't talk about it, you know, I mean, we know that it's, you have to be HIPAA compliant, which means don't talk about it, but, this person is gonna have to pretty much be HIPAA compliance officer, keeping these records all separate, you know, in a place where nobody else can get to. On the third floor is what we were thinking about, that place is not just available to anybody to walk in, you know, so. And then this person will also, they'll have their own office with the door closed at all times. So they can have locked files, whatever, so that we can stay HIPAA compliant as well. Or
Which
help
we,
them out.
well, which we do now.
We do.
Drug and alcohol tests are all confidential. The background checks,
Oh,
credit
that's
checks for new employees are all confidential. Right now, they're kept up in the attorney's office. This person comes on, you get a set of files in there, they're locked up. So we're doing some of that already, some confidential stuff, so.
Right.
Mr. Chairman. So then the idea is to have kind of a contract with them too, that they sign on the bottom line that says they will keep everything confidential. And so you'll have to have that kind of.
Well, that's in the job description.
And that is in the description, so, yeah. Hopefully that, and like I said, I hope that this person, I hope that we're lucky enough to get a person who understands all this, and believes in it, and comes and tells us what we need to do. And we're gonna let them. We're just gonna sit back, and we're gonna let them take control of this, because they know more than we do.
And apparently, there's also ongoing education with this, every time the law changes, so.
Yes.
You're gonna have to have a budget for that person to go do some training and stuff.
This person will always have to go to be certified, it sounds like. What we're hoping to do, which we're hoping to get somebody who is CBS certified. It's preferred for anybody who holds these types of jobs. If they're not, then we're gonna try to figure out how to get them CBS certified and then state compliant with that, which is probably something like planning people have to do all the time, stay up on their certifications, so.
There are 6 of them in the state that are CEBS certified. So there's not a whole lot of them. I imagine if we could find one, the price will go up also, so.
That might be the $90,000 one in Sweetwater County.
Commissioner Lawson, is the city employee certified?
Is what now?
Is the employee that's working for the city that's doing a similar thing?
They just hired a new one. The person came from WBI. They just hired him with a salary of $47,500
But he wasn't
to do
CBS.
this. He's their new benefits person, yes.
Okay, I was just curious.
Right.
But is he certified?
He's not
No,
certified.
he's not certified. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yes, he's not certified.
Did you ask them what they're doing about that?
Well, the gal that was in there before has been doing it for 4 years now. She's not certified yet. So I guess if you're not certified and you want to go through this, there's nothing in the city apparently that allows you to get any extra money if you do this. Now, they are a step grade type of system over there. So he's starting out at step 2 and he can go to step 3, 4, and 5. With their case with satisfactory performance, he'll get a raise each year or whatever, depending on what the budget is. So here, if they come to work for whatever amount they get, then they're going to be at that amount. So,
And I think it's in the county's best interest to make sure they become certified and stay that way.
you could ask for that question.
Budget consideration also.
Yeah.
As I understood in our conversation, there's a significant amount of paperwork due up front. And what kind of timeline are we looking at on that, and what does that entail?
Not right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anything else?
Well, no, I better talk. It gets her a little worked up. Actually, the deadline, we passed the deadline. They are extending it. We were supposed to be done with all the paperwork to get us, not anything that would cause us a fine. This is just to get us ready for open enrollment with our plan source software. We didn't make it only because we had no idea. It was poor instructions is what we thought. There's too many fingers in the pie, I think. We understood from Cobacon that they were going to send Plan Source here. That Plan Source told them anyway, that they would be here and actually physically help us get this program up and running. And then Cobacon people would come in probably and help us with open enrollment. That's still a possibility. I think that, honestly, I think Diana and her crew would be here to help us, but that's not the problem. Open enrollment is not a problem for us. It's just getting us to that point. So yes, we are a little behind. We were hoping, or wishing, I should say, that we had come to you with something like this sooner, and that maybe this person could have been helping us right now.
Mr. Chairman, but we didn't I guess, when we started on this plan source venture, I don't think we understood what the undertaking was either. And so, we have 7 outside boards that I'm relying on, and it's spreadsheet after spreadsheet after spreadsheet. It's not only going, from 2 years back, providing information, then you have to do, it's like 10 different spreadsheets we're having to do. And a lot of it is manual. We're combining the 7 boards with ours, so we have one big report and so on and so forth. And I think once we get that set up, it's going to be manageable. But again, it's going to take this person to do that. It's just getting all of the information, because we are such a large group, into the Plan Source program to get it up and running.
And our boards have never been accountable, ever. They've never had to be. They've never done their own reporting. They've never done their own sign up their people for the insurance benefits, anything like that. They do a certain amount of the sign up and then they send it on to us, which is still the way it's going to be for a while, until we're sure we can release a little bit more responsibility to them. But then you still have to have that one person who can just visit them, even if it's once a month. We're trying, right now we're saying it has to be weekly. in order to make sure, especially for their part-time people and stuff, it has to be weekly. We just don't have staff to monitor something like that with 7 different boards weekly, or monthly, or twice a year.
So, excuse me, even though we're self-covered, we still have to go through this
Oh, yes.
weighty process
Yes.
for the Affordable Care Act. And is that mostly due to part-timers that we have, or we just got to do it for everybody, period?
Yeah, and there's a certain amount of reporting and stuff that you have to do regardless, whether this person is exempt for the hourly watch, basically. But it's mostly our part-timers, the seasonal workers that cause us this, whether or not these people are offered their benefits when they become eligible for,
And could subject us to
Yes.
$1 million fine.
yes.
And as far as the 1094 and 95C reporting, we're not, we will have those out when they're due. This is just when we go live on this Plan Source program. We were wanting to go live today, but we have until the 4th to get everything in. I'm still waiting for 5 outside boards to get me information, so, that's the fight that I have to
Yeah.
continually fight, and it gets old. And when I have 10 other things to do, it's very hard to keep on top of these outside boards to get this information to us.
And we have one board that responds immediately. And then we have one that we have to send threatening letters to every time. Other ones are just kind of lag in, but yeah. The library is excellent. She's very good. So if we ever lose Greta, we're in trouble.
Somebody has to lead the way.
That's right.
Other questions? Commissioner Henry?
What numbers of employees, roughly? How many
Over probably about 460.
with the boards included?
That's just employees, that's not lives. We have well over 700 lives on the plan.
Because of their spouses and children.
Oh, right.
So it's
So you
about
gotta
460.
do all of them with this deal,
Right.
anybody that's on the plan. But how many just actual Natrona County employees without the board?
315,
15, and then you add the boards in, it's 400.
so 400 probably. And that's the thing too, when you have an employee that terminates, we don't do the payroll for the outside boards. All we do is their insurance coverage. We send in the insurance apps to Blue Cross and we handle all that. But when they do their payroll, if they terminate someone, we have 30 days to notify them of COBRA. Well, if the outside board doesn't notify us that this person is terminated, we have no way of knowing until, oh, by the way, so-and-so terminated June 1st. That is very disconcerting to me. And it has been ongoing, ongoing, ongoing. We have preached and preached and preached and preached until we're blue in the face. And with this Plan Source program, our ultimate goal is to have them do weekly downloads or monthly downloads from their actual payroll system directly to this Plan Source, so then it can automatically kick out these COBRA letters and all the notifications that need to be done. That's our ultimate goal.
And that was part of the software that we, in this year's budget, that
Yep.
we went with.
In the long run, it's going to keep us compliant, the software. It's just getting us all
Getting
put
it set
together.
up and getting the data loaded in and, okay.
And we're hoping, we want to get this advertised and get going on this as soon as possible. It's imminent.
You're gonna have to finding somebody won't be a little trick.
Yeah, it might take a little while. I don't foresee anybody starting until January for sure.
Mr. Chairman, I was picking up on how you felt the importance of somebody being certified.
Mhm.
So maybe one suggestion, I noticed in here it just says certification preferred.
Right.
Maybe one suggestion is that certification would have to be completed within 3 years or 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that. So it's understood that it's needed, but you
Okay.
give sufficient time for an employee, if they're not certified, to be trained and get certified. So that was one suggestion.
That's a good
you might want to
suggestion.
consider.
Would you be willing to put a bonus on that when they do it?
I think, I can't speak for the
I-
commission
you
at
guys-
large, but
I
that's
agree,
something we,
yes.
that's something we should be talking about, yeah.
Well, and we did that with our development department.
Okay.
You know, when he got his certifications, then we gave him his raise.
Well, we'll
It
ask that
started
question.
a little bit low, and then, you know, after he got the certifications, after a year, we went ahead and boosted him up.
Well, we'll ask that
Which is
question.
kind of what we told him when he came in.
And there's a possibility if we find a real good candidate and the salary's too low, we'll come back to you in the work session and say, hey, we've got an applicant that on payroll. I don't know what the market is, because like you say, it seemed like the market is like
Yeah.
$90,000.
And remember, they have to work with me. We need hazard
Oh, that's a
years.
game changer.
Mr. Chairman, your point is well taken from the standpoint that if you get a candidate that's certified versus one that's not certified,
Yeah,
you need to be able to deal with that from a salary standpoint.
For sure.
So if you know what you're gonna set for a certified candidate, then you know, then you can have two different salary ranges. This is certified, non-certified, and then have a requirement that if they're not certified, they have a certain time period.
We're running that situation, I'll notify leadership and they can make the rest of the commission decision.
Mr. Chairman, is this a deal where certification, they have to go somewhere and get it, or is it
I think they
online?
can do it a lot like computer classes. and
Online.
stuff
Sure,
like that,
there's gotta
webinars and
be
Stuff like that.
webinars or,
Yeah,
you would think,
okay.
you would think.
Because it's a long process, it's unless you're gonna go full-time, it's a long process,
Okay.
so.
And you guys will handle the interviews. Is that correct? That's
We'll
what
get some
you're
help.
thinking? Okay. And
Right?
Hmm?
We'll get some help.
From who?
COPA.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, they are,
Okay, yes.
and depending on candidates, and if we could line them all up at once, they could probably be here to help us with the interviews. So, and depending on the time, I mean, they're coming into busy times for themselves too because of the Affordable Care Act and all their clients that they're trying to make sure they're all compliant.
so you're ready to get this advertisement out there
Yes.
and get moving on it?
Mhm.
Everybody good with moving forward with this? And I guess the one thing, you know, because we are not in the best of financial times, we should discuss right here and now what range we think is appropriate. Comments? Comments from you guys
45 to 55?
Yeah, we,
to start?
yeah, that's what we
Okay, I
said.
think we sort
No,
of decided
40
that.
Yeah,
that range.
no less than 45 probably, you know, I haven't seen one for less than that. That person was somebody who had come as a ex-payroll person that had been involved and just kind of gradually moved into the Affordable Care Act responsibilities, and then he started out at 45, but then people that come with some experience but still not being certified, they were at 55. That's pretty much where we think we're gonna be. Someone with experience but probably not certified.
If they're certified, then you come back and bump them 10 or 5 or whatever.
Well, we're kind of hoping that, I mean, I'm kind of leaning toward, and depending on how they feel about it, because I kind of feel if we get somebody with really good experience, they're going to run that interview and tell us exactly what we need to do, what they will accept for salary, that kind of thing. But I'm kind of thinking that we'd start in the middle of the 45, 55, and then move them up. If somebody's not certified and hasn't had a whole lot of experience, but damn, they're willing to go, which I think we have some of those employees ourselves who may want to apply. You know,
Wondering
so.
if any of the temp outfits that we've used in the past for different positions would know of somebody that.
I do have a gentleman that I deal with. He sends me emails all the time, and I can't remember if it's I can't remember the name of the
whoever-
company, but he's local.
They may.
And
know
I'm
somebody.
gonna
Yeah.
reach out to him too. Diana from Cobacon thought that she had somebody who was with another company who downsized a lot, but the person said, too stressful. Mm-mm, no, thank you.
Really?
don't want that kind of job, you know. And I can see why, when you think that, you know, you let one thing slip, and that business is faced with $1 million fine, and it's all on you.
Heavy-handed government.
Is everybody good with that?
Go.
Steve?
Yep.
Okay.
Looks like the certification is, you can do it all online.
Can you?
Did you look that up? Okay,
How
good,
long does it
thank you.
take, does it say?
It doesn't say, but it's pretty pricey.
How much
Book-
is it?